Talking with the Source, where we bring on well-known and local researchers from around the world to share their experiences and evidence.
Who knows that the moon missions were faked?
As soon as I said, I'll meet you, and she said, oh, darn it, I gotta check the door, make sure the door's locked, because I don't want to leave John's house unlocked. So she goes back to check the door. I go out to my vehicle, and I hear this god-awful scream.
Well, there are 63 races of grays. So most people only think there's one race, and when you say grays, it's a misinformation. There's 63 races. Out of those, one race is a negative extraterrestrial. And what I do is I group them in the negative and the positive. The positive wish to see humanity ascend.
What is your name? My name is Anthony.
Are you ready to unravel the mysteries of this podcast? Join us only on Talking with the Source, live every Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and on all podcast listening platforms.
What's going on, everybody? My name is AJ Capasso, host and founder of Talking with the Source, and I'm here with the other founder and host, my best friend, Jonathan Keyworth of JK47 Paranormal Investigations. John, what is going on, my brother?
Dude, what's up, man? Just had a crazy night. We went and investigated Holy Cross Abbey for the last time. They're going to be shutting it down in June, so it's basically going to rot away, is what we heard. So it's kind of sad. I love investigating that place, and I just want to say thank you to Dennis Batchelor and Sean Crochet for allowing me to come and investigate. Gretchen's in the house. What's up, Gretchen? Hi. And yeah, dude, it's kind of sad, but life goes on. You just gotta keep going forward, living the now, man.
Absolutely, man. And I'm so sad to hear about the Abbey, but another thing happened. Our other host, Chris, he actually, as he was coming out of what area? Do you want to explain what happened to him when he got attacked?
Yeah. So Chris is we've investigated that place together like 4 or 5 times, and we were down in the basement, and they were doing a session in this room where there's a crawl space, and Sean he said that's where the bad man hangs out, is in that crawl space. So I went upstairs because my knee started hurting and was having trouble walking and stuff, and not even like 15 minutes later they came up, and then all of a sudden he went pale, like white, like his face was white as paper, and he couldn't walk, couldn't do 10 steps. So what Sean was saying is that thing attached to him. He went to the hospital, everything. We had to call the paramedics, and they came up with the stretcher and stuff, and I was helping them. And Garrett Wantley, he was a fireman from Massachusetts there on the investigation, and he helped tell 911 what was going on. So yeah, thank you, Watley, and I appreciate your help with that. Chris is a good friend. He's a good guy. Yeah. He didn't deserve that, but once he got to the hospital, they basically said he had a panic attack.
Yeah, which is really weird and kind of coincidental with some kind of a spiritual attack, because I've had them say that to me when I've had spiritual attacks, like, oh, it's just a panic attack. But Gretchen, he is doing well. He contacted us. He actually was going to be staying live, and he got out of the hospital, immediately came on to be live on the show. We were like, no, go home, go rest. you need to take today off, but he like really wanted to come on. I felt bad to tell him no, but anyway, long story short though, he's doing all right. Thank you guys so much for asking. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Gretchen. But we have an amazing guest today, and I want to bring him forward. He is an amazing person. I'm going to let him explain all the stuff that he's involved in, because between Connecticut Paraconn, between Drac Tours, between the book, I mean, just there's so much stuff that Charles Rosenet does. It's absolutely amazing. So let me bring him forward, a great friend of ours, Charles Rosenet. Let me bring him forward.
Great to finally be on the show, guys. Thank you.
Great to have you, my friend. Great to have you. So please, I didn't want to mess up this intro. I want to let you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, my friend.
Oh my gosh. Well, as you can see by the background, which I haven't pointed out before, I'm
I love.
monster kid, grew up loving the Universal monsters. And my big passions growing up was horror movies and the Beatles, rock and roll and all that.
Yeah.
And I was able to sort of like make them both my life, in that I do, as you mentioned, Dracula tours to Transylvania, 25 years strong, and Beatle tours to Liverpool for Beatle fans. So like both of my my passions and my loves really came together well in a lot of the stuff I do. But past 10 years, the horror has veered towards, the paranormal and the supernatural. And having been someone who produced conventions for so many years, it was a natural segue into producing the paranormal convention. Even before, like the Warrens, who put on that great show in the Mohegan Sun and all that for these past few years, and I think are moving it out to Gettysburg this year. We kind of got a jump on that a few years back, right after COVID, and did Connecticut's first paranormal convention over at the Ansonia Armory. And, expected, a few hundred people and had, 2,000.
Oh, it was crazy. I mean, I was there that first year at the Armory. I mean, I know last year you also had there, right, as well. Last year, was it there as well?
3 years.
3 years? Okay, because that was the first year I went. I didn't get to go the last two. So
the first year was like, it was beyond belief.
Oh, it was crazy.
Third year, we moved it from the summer to May, because all the vendors are saying it gets hot in this armory. There's no air conditioning. And so we planned it like 8 months in advance, never realizing it was Mother's Day weekend. So we said, no one wants to set up in the sun. We made it one show. So we'll take a step back. We'll reanalyze things. And this year, having it in July, like we always, where we want it, where it's always been very successful, but moved it to a different location that has air conditioning. So this year, July 20th to the 21st, Paraconn 4, Connecticut's original paranormal convention, is moving to the Baldwin Center in Stratford, which is a great location, clean, next to the library, a ridiculous amount of parking, just the right setup. We can fit all the vendors we want, special guests, and then there's a separate room for talking. We're adding a few new dimensions to the event. We're going to have a film festival, a screening room where we can show ghost, the great shows that everyone loves, and also some movies. And then while the event is going on, we're going to do a ghost walk, because there's a very special location nearby that we're going to take people to. So every hour on the hour, people who want to break away will be able to actually do an actual walk, paranormal walk and investigation. So I'm really excited about this year, and tickets are going well. Vendors are packing it up, and the guests really excited. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I'm sorry. That is so
awesome.
You're excited. I get excited too, man. I'm excited myself. I mean, I'm a Connecticut resident, so I get super excited for this. But you said July 20th, or what did you say it was? July 20 what?
July 20th through the 21st.
Okay, 20 through the 21st. I just want to put it on the screen for everyone.
Oh, please. At the Baldwin Center.
Yeah,
right in Stratford, Connecticut.
Stratford, Connecticut.
And that place is close to my heart anyway, because, as you guys probably know, I was the founder and owner and ran a haunted attraction called Fright Haven for those many years, sold it around COVID, but Stratford was my location. So I was there, every night during Halloween season, welcoming people and scaring the pants off them.
Wow.
I think
You
it's
know,
great, man. You're doing these ghost walks every hour on the hour, so you make sure everybody gets to experience, that fabulous location, and the fact that you're doing that, they can come back when after the Paraconn if they want to investigate more, and that's
Absolutely.
awesome, man.
That whole area has got a lot of very, very cool haunted sites, but one in particular, one will give it away completely. But we've done a paranormal investigation of it before and made a night of it, and people just, wow, this was an amazing location. So yeah, that's why one of the reasons we picked this place. But believe it or not, as silly as it is, air conditioning was so crucial because I love that Ansonia Armory, and hopefully we'll go back there someday if they ever add AC to the place. But we were about a 4 or 5 month search. It was myself and Tom Gormley, who's my new partner in The Shaman and the Showman. We'll get him on your show.
He's here. Hold on. Here he is.
He's there.
The better half, he says. Watch out. Oh.
Could we have timed that better? Could we have timed that better?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, him and I were literally looking at so many places throughout the state and considering this one and weighing this one. And we think everyone's going to really, really love this location in Stratford.
That is awesome. Yeah, I'm pumped.
There's so many places on the East Coast there. I mean, that's where all our history, as a country, it was all developed there on the East Coast. So there's got to be so many locations that you can do. I would love to have that option. I'm out in Colorado. I got Stanley in the Abbey. That's it.
But they ways good options. Like we have some great stuff up here, but then we also do love our Colorado stuff. So right, Charles. We get it.
And I heard about the amazing, results you just had at the Abbey, and to hear, someone who had what they're going to call obviously a panic attack or whatever.
Yeah.
That's an easy way out to explain something that's not explainable.
Yeah. You know what's crazy, man? When the paramedics came up, they're like, "What are you guys doing in here?" We're like, "We're investigating," and they're like, "What? Paranormal stuff?" And they're like, "Oh, okay." And I could feel their fear, like I'm an empath. They're like, "I don't want to be in here." It was crazy.
It's always great. Always great. I wanted to actually ask you, what is some requirements to be a vendor at the Paraconn?
We're pretty flexible. If someone's selling merch, it's cool. If they're a reader or a psychic and they want to set up and read on the spot, whether it's tarot cards, whether it's leaves, whether it's crystals, palms, whatever, we're open to that. So we get a nice mix of the people who are selling horror stuff, the people who are selling paranormal equipment, Ouija boards, pretty much across the board. We got a little carried away. Second or third show, I forgot, we had like 80 vendors, and it was really ridiculously packed. So we're going to go back to like that 50 is where, people, nowadays, I don't know if people have enough cash to go around to 80 vendors and really support them all. Yeah. And, I want them all to do well. I'm on the other side of it a lot too. Last weekend I was at the Chiller Convention in New Jersey, and I got a lot of shows who are copies of my book. And I know if I'm in a room with another 100 or if I'm in a room with 50, there's a big difference and when you get guests and certain guests, sign and they bring their books or they're signing photos or they have DVDs to sell, you got to make a choice. If you come with $100 in your pocket, that's going to go pretty quickly. You're at 5 tables and it's like, oh man, where's the ATM? There's so much more stuff I want to get here. And I know it from both sides. So yeah, we're gonna all the VIPs and all the very special guests will have their own dedicated room where fans can go see them, meet them. People want pictures. They want pictures with the guests. They want to tell their experiences.
Yeah.
To, for lack of a better word, not experts, but people who are living it every single day. And someone who walks off the street from Bridgeport or Milford or wherever they're coming from to go to the show, and they've had an experience, they're there for that reason.
Exactly.
They can't pick up a phone and just, dial 911. Hi, can you connect me to a paranormal investigator? There's no yellow pages for that.
Yeah.
So these conventions actually serve a really good purpose. People walk in those doors and you see on their face, it's that,
Yep, like I'm not crazy.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's an
Shared-
amazing feeling.
AJ, you hit it right. It's a shared kindred experience. And here for many, years, I was the shaman and the showman. Yeah, I'm the showman. I'm the schmoozer, the guy who plays the skeptic, plays the non-believer. But living this and breathing it and being part of it and getting smacked in the face over and over with, experiences, I can't play that role anymore. I have to say I was that, but now I'm that. And even in my book, my ghost stories book, 3 of the chapters are mine because I had, my own experiences that I wanted to share. And people walk in, no doubt, and they're like, this is it. This is where I needed to be. This is where I can tell about what's happened to me and find out from other people that I'm not crazy.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think that's why these conventions are so important because, and I'm so happy that I'm happy in a way and I'm not happy in a way about how big the paranormal has got. I'm not happy in a way at the fact of where YouTube has brought it now because of the people who are faking it and turning the field into a joke, which I don't like. But I'm so happy that it's blown up to where these conventions are happening, where someone good like yourself is doing this kind of stuff, because it's making people who are having these experiences that they don't know where to go to, that they can go somewhere and realize, I'm not crazy. Like there's something really going on. There's something more than there is to this world. And, it's so great to have all these vendors that can teach them things like from the tarot readings to crystals. I mean, you name it, all the stuff that I saw when I was there, it's just absolutely amazing. The reason why I asked you about requirements for guests and stuff like that is because we were actually going to contact you about seeing about for the next year's one for having Global Ghost Hunt come down because we've been having a lot of success with bringing Global Ghost Hunt and help saving a lot of these locations that are around. And another reason why too is I don't know if you know them, but my friends from the Enfield Demon House have been asking me about the Paraconn and wanted me to ask you, if they were ever welcome to ever like put in their name. And I wanted to ask you what you thought, what your opinion was.
So I think Tom's in touch with them already
Okay.
about possibly coming up and being in. I know there's some controversy going on with that particular location. And there's some people who are saying, well, I don't know.
Stay away. I get what you're saying. I heard all the controversy stuff.
In this crazy business, there's a lot of silliness.
It's a drama, yeah.
My whole, you'll understand what I'm saying when I explain to you. When I started Fright Haven, and we're talking about 15 years ago when it was originally West Haven, all the haunted attractions were enemies, and they fought bitterly. And that you go online. And even in the beginning of Facebook, you would see, don't go to that place. They don't scare you there. And I'm like, why are they doing this? And it was one of my missions, and I succeeded, was to bring all the haunted attractions to the point where you go to one on a weekend, you have a great time. The next weekend, the next October weekend, you're going to want to go to another one. You're going to want to feed off each other. It's logical.
Yeah.
Every paranormal group should be recommending the next paranormal group. Every location that has a successful event, a group shouldn't say, well, that was it. We're exclusive. No one else. It should be open. And it drives me crazy what goes on.
Community. Community.
Yeah.
Even that.
Yeah.
And the irony of it is I had a partner and we're no longer together. And
I know. I couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe it either. I still don't know why. And it's sad because here the one who preaches the para-unity and who tries and strives so hard to make sure everyone gets along and is friends, sometimes it just doesn't work out that way.
That's just what happens in this field, though. It's sad that as paranormal researchers, we decide that we are more. A lot of people are more about the fame aspect, becoming the next Zach Bagans with their evidence, than they are worried about what the whole point of why they got into this field in the first place. And it's just sad to see how, or the money nowadays with how YouTube pays people now and all that stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not against people making money and doing what they do, because I have friends that are mediums. They make a lot of money and I'm happy for them. But, it's like the moral behind what you're doing. If we all work together, we would accomplish so much more. you know, and it's just like,
and there's room for everybody. It's not, you know,
it
it's
is.
not an exclusive club.
So tell us a little bit about your book, my friend, and tell us where we can get our hands on it and whereabouts it is, please.
I happen to have one in my hands right now.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
There you go.
It's True Ghost Stories of Connecticut. You know, it came out just in time, I think, for the second Paraconn. And what was so cool about it is, talking about 30 chapters, probably 25 of the chapters, the people who wrote the chapters for me, and I'm jumping ahead because I want to tell you how it came about. We're at the con. We're at the Paraconn. So what was amazing is people were getting the book signed by me, and then it was like a scavenger hunt. They were going to vendor to vendor to vendor to vendor, getting others to sign the book, which never happened. So that's
awesome.
The criteria for me to put together this book, because there were other books that told you some of the haunted places in Connecticut, or where they were, or what their history was. I wanted to put together a book where we learned what happened to people at these places. And I reached out to people who I thought were very respected individuals in our paranormal community. And I said, listen, I don't want you to bullshit me. I don't want you to tell me a smooth story. I want you to tell me the truest, most unbelievable, unexplained occurrence that happened to you. The criteria is that it was true and that it happened with connection to Connecticut. And, you know, literally within half a year, I had the most amazing stories and put it together in this book, which is available from Amazon. Of course, you can get it on Amazon at all the conventions we do, and through www.paranormalconnecticut.com is the website for the book. But the Shaman and the Showman, Tom and I do a lot of libraries. We do a lot of library appearances where I tell my history, how I got involved in going from a horror guy to the paranormal world. He talks about his 40-year history of being an investigator and being on cases and all that, plus his criminology end of things, which brings it all together. And then, you know, we sign and answer questions. And just the same way you mentioned, people go to a Paraconn for that reason, that they need to connect with. The first thing I asked at one of these library appearances, how many of you believe in ghosts? And literally every hand goes up. How many of you have had a paranormal experience or an unexplained supernatural? The rest of the hands go. It's unbelievable. And then I asked them to talk, give out. No one will talk. But when it's over, when it's done, it's a beeline. And I'm hoping, they're coming to get the book signed. No, right. I got to tell you about my house. That's the first. It's always that first. I got to tell you about my house. Where do you live? And what happened? It's always a unique story. It's always
that amazing. Is awesome. I can imagine all the ones that you got for the book that you didn't get to put in. I can only imagine how many stories. Like,
I'm ready for 4 more chapters of just the folks who came. 4 more volumes rather of just the folks who come up to me with amazing stories.
It'll be like Britannica. Encyclopedia.
Yeah. Right. Britannica, Connecticut. Yeah. Britannica, Connecticut.
You mentioned, that the East Coast being very, very how afflicted, and there's a reason why.
With paranormal experiences. Yeah.
There's a reason why, guys, and you think about all the places that have the most wars, the most chaos, the most deaths, the most tragedies, right? And it's taking away Indian land and the battles that went on. And also it's also a very heavy location of traveling water, of flowing water, and flowing water, as you know, is a conduit. So all those things combined, and you think of Pennsylvania, Virginia, all the way through the New York, through the New England states. And not to take away from the rest of the country, because any place you're going to go, there's going to be that farmhouse. There's going to be that, you will always hear stories, and they're, either true or a drunken night out. But 95, would you agree? 95%, it happens to these people, and they don't know how to talk about it. And so what I think there should be this version in every single state. There should be True Ghost Stories of Maine, True Ghost Stories of Colorado, everywhere, because I want to read that. I want to hear the best of these events. Oh, listen to that. I'm the promoter, and my partner's got to. As you guys probably know, we're doing the Connecticut's first witch festival.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Last year they were finally exonerated, and absolved. And this year we're celebrating in Hartford. Thank you, Tomas. Brilliant. At the historic Pratt Street in Hartford. And it's going to be a 2-day festival, no admission, free admission. Hundreds, maybe thousands of people are going to come, 20, 25 vendors, everything witch related, guest speakers. It's going to be pretty special. It's the next, event in our order of major events. Connecticut Paraconn being in July.
Yeah.
The week after the Paraconn, we're doing the Connecticut's Summer Psychic Festival at the Dudleytown Brewery in Windsor.
Oh man.
Free admission event. Then the Witch Trials event in Hartford, August 10th, August 9th and 10th, or 10th and 11th. I got my dates all together now. And then when we're ready to promote, we'll talk about the Salem Paraconn, which has been going on now in its 3rd year. It's the Salem Paranormal and Horror Convention up in Salem, Mass. But we'll focus on Connecticut for now.
I tell you, you are a busy man, my friend. A busy man. I love it.
But I love everything I do. I don't know if it comes across.
It does.
I would hope, because none of it's work. It's all such a pleasure to be, because if I wasn't producing these cons, I would be going to these cons. I would go to a witch festival.
Yeah.
I love the idea of this stuff. I'm going to see the new Tara movie with my kids, and I saw Abigail. Every horror movie that comes out, I got to see. So I still got that horror kid in me, but now it's on the next plane, that next level where it's the stuff we love.
So one of our favorite witches is Patty Negri. Patty Negri was on her show. She calls herself the White Witch, and I bought her book and stuff, and I use some of her stuff. It works, man. It does amazing stuff. You just got to put your heart and your mind and put that belief into it. It's amazing what she can accomplish. You should get her to go to that.
It's a great call. If people, you think Wiccan and witch, and there's a lot of people who don't know, who give assumptions. And if you study it and you look into it, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah. It really is.
And it's positive.
What also it is too, is it's so informative of history. And that's what I love the most about all this, especially being a paranormal researcher. Like, I never cared for history when I was in school, but the minute I got into this work, history has just exploded in me. I love it. Every part of history, you know what I mean? And just that aspect alone, like those ghost tour walks that you guys are going to be doing, just the history you're going to be teaching alone about this location is just worth the money in itself, in my opinion.
Thank you. I agree. When Tom and I, when the Shaman and the Showman LLC go out, he won't set foot anywhere we're going unless he's carefully researched everything. He's the historian and the researcher. Awesome. I like going in, with the shades on, the shutters.
That's how I am. I'm like that too.
Yeah.
Sure.
So you always want the best of both worlds with the things we do, and we've been very fortunate. We're very fortunate. I don't know if you got to check out some of the guests who we've got at this year's Paraconn. It's a wonderful mix of people who I've had before, who people have loved, with a bunch of brand new people who've never done the Connecticut Paraconn, including Andy Andrews, who was one of the original ghost hunter guys, and literally has just disappeared from he didn't like the route it was going. He didn't want it dramatized and all that. So he's been kind of out of the picture for a long time, and he's been nice enough to say he'll do this show. And I'm really excited to hear what he has to say about this current YouTube state of investigators and the people who are, the new, I don't want to say the new blood of paranormal, but it should be really special with him there.
Do you want to shout out some of the other people that will be there?
Yeah, we have got in front of me. Thank you. Lauren Robbins, who's the First Lady of the Dunes medium. We've got Kenneth Drake. This is crazy. This is his first Paraconn, but he was Hollywood's haunted psychic. He's done over 50,000 readings. Come
Here,
on.
let me pull it up. Hold on. Let me pull it up for you so I can show everybody while you're saying it. Hold on.
Oh, please, yes.
This is awesome. So
Drake was ranked #1 psychic advisor in the U.S. and Canada for 18 consecutive years. So what's really exciting is these guys, have never done Paracons before at all. Some of them are doing their first Paracon, first ever. Some are doing their first Connecticut show. Yeah, as you're doing that, I'll keep rambling though. Larissa Rez is coming. I know she's done shows before. It's her first show with us, and she's a psychic medium as well. Jimmy, our friend Jimmy, Mr. Haunted Penino, who's worked with the Warrens. He was a videographer for them, did so much stuff with them. Lauren and Danny, the Radicals. Oh, there we go. That is that first row.
yeah.
Thank you. Looking good.
No problem.
Looking good. And then
it's your website. You did a good job on that.
well, we do a shout out to Melissa Sarfine. She's our webmaster, and I just bombed her with 3 other guests. So when you scroll to the next page, and we've got 3 on there now, there'll be 3 more literally within the next week. So I'm really excited about that. But Dave Giuliano is going to be with us, who's an ordained independent Catholic priest and has been researching ghosts for nearly 40 years. My buddy, everyone's buddy, Adam Bagan, the historian, ghost hunter, co-founder, and historically haunted. Scott Allen, another psychic medium from the Massachusetts area. And got some demonologists we've just added to the event. And if you guys know Carl Johnson, he's also coming. And it's going to be, I think you see where that 3 are going to be filled very quickly. And we might have to do another row right below it, because there's just, it's hard for me to say no when we're getting such great guests who want to be there.
Right.
The challenge is going to be fitting them in for half-hour slots of talking for the 2 days, because I want to fit them all in. Every one of them has amazing stuff to share.
Thomas says Dan Sturgis.
Thank you. Dan Sturgis is going up, is literally going up as we speak. He'll be our next great guest. And I'm forgetting who else. Tom can tell us as he's doing that. So Enfield House is sharing with us. Oh,
he just said that Joe Franks was at the house last night from the Warren Legacy Foundation. He said they had a wild time because they held an event last night, I guess, and it went really well. So, have you ever had Joe Franks at all by chance?
Where is he located?
He's located in Connecticut, but I believe so. But I just don't know the exact location where. But I can definitely reach out to him for you, because I tell you, one year he would be a great guest for you guys. He has a lot of knowledge.
Oh, we'd love to have him. That sounds great. Yeah. What I found is the first years we were reaching out like crazy. First year, second year. And now I'm getting.
Now they're coming to you. Yeah, you're coming to you.
And I'm saying, well, I'll fit you in one way or another. Right. Yeah. I'm looking for that. And I'm loving that part of it. Thank you. That was our other.
No way. Father Bob Bailey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very exciting. Yeah. And they're going to come as a tandem. And I think they're going to actually be speaking on stage together. So we're looking forward to that.
That is awesome.
We've already filled those 3 empty boxes there on the website. Yeah. We're on the 2nd row already. The 3rd row.
Third row.
Hey, that's awesome. That is awesome, though.
I want to do a shout out to Chris from the other the Warrens Spirit Secret Paraconn, because when he heard that we were doing a show, he didn't hesitate. He said, "Here are some people who I think you should have," and that's a perfect example. You think we would be, competitors? He was doing that show the other side of the state in October. I was doing the show. We're buds, man. We try to help each other. We do mass emails for each other, to vendors and to fans, and it just makes sense. Awesome. I love that.
That is awesome.
That's awesome, bro.
As a paranormal researcher yourself,
yes,
what got you into it? Like, what experience was it that grabbed you and was like, I gotta figure out more?
That's a great question, because I was going along to events, and I was the host. I was a host. I was making sure that what we would do is we would do nightly events where we'd go eat first. We would do an orientation. We'd show the people the equipment if they'd never seen it before, and then do the investigation. 3-4 hour event. And so I saw myself as the promoter of it. I was the one getting the word out and getting people to come. And not so much that person who knew when you walked into a certain part of a house. I didn't feel it get colder. I wasn't the conduit. I wasn't the empath. I was not a medium, and I will never say that I am. But guys, what I would do is I would take tons of pictures, and I got great results that would blow my mind. And when everything was said and done, I was back in the car or back at home, and I'm skimming through, and I'm, what? How did that one picture out of all those actually have? And the one that really jumps out on me, I know it's in my book somewhere, is when we did the Ansonia Opera House.
Oh, I wanted to ask you, how was that? I never got a chance.
Guys, I wish I could have brought you with me. We Channel 8 was there. I mean, WTNH News covered it.
I remember. I remember.
Through. And I was taking pictures of an upper deck area, which was probably the mezzanine of the opera house. And I always love to talk about opera houses because I'm a real big theater guy. And, you know, an opera house rarely had opera. What did it have? It had Houdini.
Yeah.
It had big symphonies. It was a convention center before there were convention centers and community. Everything would go on. People would love these places, and they would go there a few times a week for what, a nickel to get in, whatever.
Yeah.
And how did Houdini play the Ansonia Opera House? How did they get him to play Sterling and Derby? Well, what would happen is he would get on a train. And if city had a grand hotel and an opera house, that's where he would do his routing. It wasn't like Megadeth or Metallica doing concert tours that are planned a year in advance, city to city. These guys jump on a train with their suitcase and their props, whether it was Houdini or Al Jolson or, you know, pre-Sinatra guys, and they would go. And so that's how all these amazing people get. Now, a place like that, how many people attended? Thousands, millions who had amazing life experiences there. And when we talk about not crossing over, where do people not cross over from? The places they love, the places that they either don't know that they have to leave, or the places they don't want to leave. And you think of churches and schools and homes, but also these opera houses and theaters. And that's why they're haunted, because they didn't cross over. So anyway, I took a ton of pictures of this area because it had this white door and the sun was shining through it. And in one picture, I don't know if we can see this, guys, but in just one.
Let me make it big. Hold on one sec. Let me make it big.
Yeah. Make me big. Then one shot.
Oh, there's a person
that.
there.
You see?
Look at
that shadow figure.
Wow.
And I didn't discover that till I looked at the roll. But the guy I was with said, well, take some pictures here also. I'm feeling something in this area. Then I took a slew of pictures, and it doesn't come out as good in the book as it does on my phone, but I'm going to try to show. No, it's not going to look good. It's two Nosferatu-looking specters, literally about 10 feet off the ground, floating across, and you see their faces and their arms, and it's unmistakable. So when did I have my revelation, AJ?
Right there.
When on my phone, when I would see the shots I was taking, and I'm like, oh my gosh. When we went to Dudleytown one time, and we've been there a few times till we got the cease and desist.
Yeah.
We were in a group, and there was this one guy, and you know, he was like checking his phone. When is this over? And like, why is this guy here? He was there for his girlfriend, and you know, that's fair, right? His girlfriend. He was being nice enough, and all of a sudden, in the middle of this whole, you know, Dudleytown area where you don't hear crickets anymore and you don't see birds, and it's, you know, dead, silent. All of a sudden, everyone's pointing to this guy. Why are you pointing to me? Because I'm the only one who doesn't believe in this stuff. No, dude, we're pointing to you because your hair is being pulled straight up in the air for no reason. We're all taking pictures, and we had to show them the pictures to believe it.
So let me show you a cool picture I got. I did a home investigation in Tennessee, and I was in the room where the activity was, and on the back wall, the only thing back there was the power panel, and I took a picture at the mirror. And I used Polaroid.
Yeah.
All right.
Hold
So
on, let me make it.
if you look close, you can see the lady standing there.
Oh my God. Right next to the flash.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I replicated that. I tried to replicate it 9 times. I used $75 worth of film trying to replicate it, and I couldn't do it.
No, it's
Couldn't
that.
do it.
You know, it's crazy.
It ended up being her mom. It was
I
her
tell you
mom.
what, you know what's so crazy though? It makes me so wild that people will knock down apps and all this type of stuff, but yet you can go out and buy a Polaroid camera and get the best evidence of your life with it. And you mean to tell me that these spirits or entities can't mess with a phone? You know what I'm saying? It drives me nuts sometimes, but you know, I won't go into that one. But you know, it's crazy though. It's so crazy that the most easiest equipment that you can find is really all you need. Just a Polaroid camera or phone camera and maybe a digital recorder if you don't have one on your phone. I mean, that's really all you need, and you can capture some amazing things with it. It's just so crazy. And when you capture an EVP, as you probably know, Charles, like, where is that coming from? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you debunk that? How do you debunk that when you have like a Class A EVP? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do scientists say to you, like,
someone was talking? You know who was there, even if it's just yourself. You know, I can't make a woman's voice. As much as I would want to try, you know, I couldn't do that. No way.
Sure you would. I'm sure you would. No.
Hi, Adrian. That's the best I can do.
It's more like this. Hold on. Right. Ready? Hi there. Is that the dark one or the light one?
Poo or something.
There we go. But yeah, so what I was saying was, you know, it's just so crazy. Like, having like that capture that you captured on that balcony is absolutely incredible, Charles.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is sick.
That is so awesome. I mean, you must have been like,
I had to put it on the cover.
Yeah. There you go.
The skulls aren't. They're from an ossuary in Europe because everybody gave a good look. Because when we touched upon my tours for how many years I was doing these Dracula tours to Transylvania, selling out. People are loving them, and they go, "Hey, Charles, this was great. Can't we go somewhere else?" I go, well, all right, let's go to England. We'll do Drac Tour Part 2 and go to the Abbey there. And we went to Whitby, which is the goth capital of the world, and we literally put together a 1-week ghost tour, horror tour, Dracula tour, whatever you want to call it, to England.
Yeah,
so fun, so successful. Trips over. Where are we going to next? So I had this like a list of 40 or so travelers ready for this. Prague, East Germany, Czech Republic, Cuba, Israel, Hungary, all these places we did ghost tours to. Wow. And we would pick a week that were, during the year and did all these, and we always got amazing results. And what was great is I was going with like-minded people. So I was getting a free trip out of it as the host. I love it.
Right. Yeah.
Right? And they were going to places that they probably would never have gone to in their lives otherwise. In Eastern Europe, we went to Frankenstein's castle. I mean, my gosh, you don't get to do that just, hey, where does the wife want to go? Oh, Aruba. Oh, Disney. The kids want to go to Disney. Okay, where do I want to go? I want to go to Frankenstein's castle. Hello,
Romania, Transylvania.
Right.
Castle, and I want to go up the Bargo Pass, the Carpathian Mountains. I want to live and breathe what Bram Stoker wrote about in that novel and follow the footsteps of Jonathan Harker. And guys, been doing that now 25 years.
I was about to ask, tell us more about these tours, man, because it must be a beautiful place, number one, and number two, just the history alone.
Well, we go to we balance the history of Vlad, the Impaler, the real deal, right? Go to his castle, all that, with the legend and the myth and the fun of our boy here, Dracula. And we mesh them together because that's what I would want in a tour. And there was never such a thing. If you went to Romania, for whatever reason, you'd go to Bucharest, which is the capital, and maybe someone would take you on a Dracula tour for 3 hours where you would go to Bran Castle. Now, Bran Castle, mind you, it's this magnificent, it's the type of thing you would see in a Dracula movie, and it's great, but it really didn't have much of a Dracula connection, except Vlad was in prison there maybe for a week.
Yeah.
We went there, but we also went to the ruins of Vlad's actual castle. We went to the place where Vlad was born, where he was buried, where they dug it up years later and only found animal bones and a missing head. Just amazing stuff right here.
Wow.
You're getting me excited, dude. I gotta start saving up.
You won't believe. We go to Brasov, which has the black church, called that way because it was burned on the outside and still has the black soot when it was burned and never restored. And that's in the courtyard where all the stakes were that Vlad would impale.
Everybody.
The foreigners who would come in to try to invade. So we do all that. We go to all those places, and it's www.dractours.com, DRACTOURS. And we go once a year, and people just have the greatest time. This year, guys, you can get a kick out of this. We have a couple who are getting married on the trip.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, you know,
that is
that's
awesome.
That'll be the best photos on Instagram and history.
Right? Absolutely. Now, I had a question for you. Actually, two questions for you. Number one, how does somebody get involved with getting on these Drac tours to get to go to one of these tours with you guys? Do you guys leave from the USA? Tell us a little bit about that, and then I'll ask you the next question.
Yeah, so it's a 1-week tour, and we take care of literally everything except souvenirs and dinners. So if you don't eat and you don't buy goodies, it's all covered. We fly them from JFK, so people could be coming from Colorado. They can come LA, Chicago, anywhere. We meet as a group in New York, fly out together right to Bucharest, spend a week-long traveling on a luxury bus. We stay at a combination of higher-end, nice 4-star hotels and creepy, scary, gothy type hotels that we do a combination of it. And the last night that we're there for our farewell dinner, farewell party, is a dress up. Everyone, you can't attend unless you're wearing makeup, unless you're wearing a costume. So whenever it's held, that's our Halloween masquerade ball on the last night. And that's whether we did the ghost tours to England, wherever we do it, that's pretty much been our signature move, ending the event with a masquerade ball. And if you ever go to dractours.com and you click on past tour reports, you will literally see what we do in order, how we do it, all the places we go to. And you'll see the people dressed up from year to year. And it's like, what? These guys would have won a contest anywhere they went. And they spend a year planning what they're going to wear.
What time of the year do you do this? What time of the year?
We were doing 2 a year. We were doing the Halloween one, which obviously makes sense. And if you're, not in the business, that's when you go. You want to go then. And then we were doing a summer one. Why? For all the haunters and all the people whose lives are so packed during Halloween. And the other reason the summer thing was for students and for teachers. But we started since COVID, we did away with the summer one, and it's just the October one now. October 28th to November 4th.
Oh wow! All right, that's awesome, man.
I wanted to ask you one last question was about Paraconn, and that was: have you ever had anybody film for you guys a free video of the Paraconn, of the whole event? Like, have you guys ever had anyone do that?
Sounds like there's an offer that's going to follow this.
That's what I'm waiting for.
There is because I love just filming in general, and I would love to just free film for you guys that want like a video for you guys of Paraconn. I think that'd be just so much fun.
So I got to tell you,
great editor.
I really think every year that's been done, and I've yet to see the footage. So this is yours. This is yours. People come, and it's like, yeah, sure, do it, and just let me see when you're done. First year was 4 years ago. Still waiting to see the raw footage. Forget the footage.
Oh my God, no! See, I'm talking about bringing a lavalier mic, get guests, like get the people that are coming in and like say like, what do you think of the Paraconn, and like interview them and get them going, and then also do the vendor shots and do cinematic shots. Like I'd love to do that stuff.
Tell he's passionate about it.
I'm passionate about it, man. I love it. That's
it's a done deal. We got it.
All right, we'll talk more on it for sure. All right, awesome. But hey, I want to say thank you so much for you, your partner, for everybody who is involved in doing this Paraconn and getting it started, the track tours, everything that you're doing, Charles. Thank you so much from my heart and everyone in this field to thank you for what you're doing, because honestly, it's amazing. It
Thank
really
you,
is.
man. I appreciate being on and being able to share all the fun stuff. And we're gonna share this interview like crazy, and hopefully get a lot of listeners and a lot of people attending the event.
Definitely.
Well, you got to come back with Thomas. I want to meet Thomas too.
Yeah. So how about this? We'll schedule something before the Paraconn if you guys are free, and we'll get you guys on, and then we'll promote it for the Paraconn.
Looking forward to it, guys. Thank you so much.
Friend. Hey, Charles, thank you, man. God bless you, brother. Thank you again.
Yes, love and light, my brother. Yes. Yes.
All right. Talk to you soon. Wow, man. I tell you, that was such a great interview, man. What did you think?
He is energetic, man. I love that guy.
Charles pumps me up because he is passionate about this field. He's passionate about his work, and that's what I love about him, man. He does not bullshit around. He's passionate about what he loves to do, and he does it. And that's something that, I love seeing. And, it's sad that, like we talked earlier about how, yes, you're going to have the negative people in the field and whatnot, but that's in any field, whatever. But it's just so good to see that there is people like Charles that is bringing these events, bringing these conventions towards paranormal enthusiasts, other people that maybe just are having experiences.
It's just like investigating, man. It's all about intentions. If you go in with the intention of making people happy, getting people to understand, the paranormal, you're going to have a great time. You're going to have a wonderful time. But if you're in it just for the money or just for the sales of the merch, you're not going to accomplish what you want to,
Exactly. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And you know what, man? I'm so looking forward to have Thomas on too next time, man.
Heck yeah.
I wish he was able to come on. I wish I knew that his time was a little bit different. I would have totally pushed us a little bit back for to have him on. But you know what? We set something up so that we can promote the Paraconn coming up this July. As you see on the bottom, everyone, the Baldwin Center in Stratford, Connecticut. The Connecticut Paraconn, July 20th through the 21st, 2024. Come down, check it out. You're going to love it. There's some amazing guest speakers. Just go to paraconn.org. You'll check it out. You'll see all the guest speakers as we showed earlier, or just look back on this and you'll be able to find out some of the guest speakers. But definitely follow the page for more guest speakers to come, as Charles was talking about, and for more stuff to come. Thomas, we appreciate you and Charles. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to have you on, my friend. And for everyone listening, please make sure to head over to all podcast listening platforms to listen to us on the go. We are Talking with the Source. And John, where can they find your stuff at, my friend?
Yeah, man. So this Tuesday at 12 p.m. Mountain Time or 2 p.m. Eastern, I'll be doing a live spirit box session, trying to talk to the Jameson family. I'm going to bring that cold case back, because if you missed my show on Friday, I talked to psychic medium Shannon Boomgard, and she actually works with the FBI in solving cases, and this was one of those cases. So we discussed it all. I suggest you guys go back and check it out. But yeah, I'm gonna try to communicate with the Jameson family again on Tuesday. So
awesome, man. Awesome. And then what, on Fridays, check out Legit, correct?
Yeah, Legit. The Darkness Descends with JK47. Usually, we'll look at live investigations, look at some clips, or if I have a guest like Shannon was on last week, it took up the whole hour. It just flew by. Man.
Well, those are always the best, man. When you have someone great that's on, like, especially today we had Charles on. He's passionate. He's a great talker like us. So the time flew by, and that's what you look for as a host. Exactly. So, but thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate every single one of you. Head over to Talking with the Source on Facebook, on all social medias, and on all podcast listening platforms to listen on the go. Till next time, my name is AJ Capasso, host and founder of Talking with the Source. I'm here with my best friend on this side, and host and founder Jonathan Keyworth, and also our other guest who's in the back right now, who's actually, in the comments, Chris. Sir Chris, we hope you get better. We hope you feel better. We will see you next week. Love you too, my friend. And until next time, thank you guys so much for checking out this show. We will see you soon. Later.
Peace out.